Hi guys, it's me, Joseph Livingston again, and it's time. It's time to talk about the first movie in the various Star movie franchise, which I love. So, for this video that I will be dedicated to my birthday month, June in the year 2025, I shall be talking about this movie, the 1995 Ghost in the Shell movie, which is actually really good. It's at the bar high for like say science fiction movies and in general science fiction anime and stuff. It was also one of the big influences for say the Matrix movies and other science fiction things. Right down to the part that they have jacked into the electronic system, as well as the green number code that they had in the Matrix movie. But this is set in the real world. This anime and movies and whatnot that you can never imagine. And the funny is that they use high-tech gadgets and all that other stuff that jack in, like use up the kind of philosophy of augmenting the body and stuff like that. But then they use regular street weapons that you can use right now. Granted, the weapons that they use are more of a high-grade military type weaponry, but still, for like a police force, that's pretty realistic, on the higher end of things. And I think she uses I believe it's the P06 rifle. Not this one, the cover, but the Eastern European assault rifle. I think I used it once in the game Black, so that kind of shows how rare the thing is. But she used it, and the other people use similar assault rifles, pistols, and whatnot. And I admit, I do like the sparking effects that they have for when the bullets like ricochet off stuff. It's very cool. It's very groovy. So anyway, you see that there's future technology that's galore in this movie, and basically the whole premise is that we can upload our brains into say more advanced and durable and athletic bodies, like the major Kusanagi here, as well as augment our biological systems, like in the case of Bato there. I think that he's a partner, but I think that the Major is the only one that actually has an official title of Major, whatever, which I think is like a strictly military term. So I don't get why they call her Major and not Bato, like say Sergeant Bato or something like that. And his eyes are the only thing that's really augmented that you can see that you can see. I really thought they was kind of like a Morpheus style glasses, but it turned out to be his eyes. And they can see like in all kinds of the infrared radiation, gamma radiation, X-ray vision too. All the Superman visions that you can imagine. But anyway, I just saw this movie last night, And I did find there was one joke in it that was very that you only get when you're in the adult. Now I don't know whether this movie came out before the cartoon or after the cartoon, but I'm gonna say that it came after the cartoon because the the anime from Tsunami. But I'm gonna say afterward because this you didn't really set this up like no origin story or anything like that. It was just like we were already set in the world of Ghost in the Shell, which is like pretty nice. I think that it might have been like a Neo Tokyo or something like that. Something a little bit more advanced than say Sailor Moon's Neo Tokyo. But besides that, the joke is that I forgot whether Major Kusanagi works at Division Number 9 in the future police force or whatever. But yeah, they have a target there, and it said that if the target goes to Division 6, that'd be bad for her. So I think you know where I'm going with this. There's an adult joke in there, 6 verse 9. And it's funny, you know, I only picked on it but just now because it was like so separate, like they had the 6 and 9 separate in like separate statements and stuff, so it was you gotta be paying attention to figure it out. But she does the thing where she does like he goes invisible with the whole visor thing, with her visor. And it's weird because in the film they chose her that she needs to have like a veil on to incorporate all the invisibility into her whole being. But in this one, in the first shot, they don't really show any type of veil, like she would get married or something. So that's something that's weird too. Also, a real cool scene is when she's like suiting up as it were, getting ready for the mission, in which he showed her cyber brain being put into it and into a metal shell, hence the name of the show, because the whole concept is that we could put organic brains, augmented, be called cyber brains instead. We can put them into anybody that we choose or we're given, which really kind of sucks because later on in the show, in the movie actually, she's talking about Bato about it, and saying that if we retire from the force or we quit from the force, we're gonna have to give away we're gonna have to forfeit our bodies to them because they're property of the government forces and stuff. So it's kind of like the brain portion will only be the only thing that belongs to them, which is the only actual biological part that they have. Kind of makes sense, but it kind of sucks that you'd be a brain and a jaw at that point. So that kind of sucks. Well, also the kind of pathetic is the fact that her body being made of metal and steel and titanium and whatnot, it was like a rock. If it goes underwater without any type of flotation devices. So it's really kind of sad that she had to live like this, but still. And another thing too, I was that at this point there'd be like a suitless system where she would be able to float with more material that would be more suitable for water travel. But I guess because of her job, she had to go with the more durable stuff, durable materials, which would come in handy when the big spider tank at the end of the movie almost crushed her skull, her metallic skull, thereby threatening her delicate cyber brain. And you know, when they do the opening sequence for her suiting up for the mission, they show her front brain and then they show her getting a new body parts. You know, they retrofit like they were fixing up a phone car in the pit crew and whatnot. It's really funny. And they bathe her in like a weird paint, white paint, probably for like anti-corrosion and that kind of thing, and to more like make it into a flesh type of thing, much like what he did for the one in the Fifth Element movie. But it's really kind of funny because this paint peels off eventually at one point as it dries off and stuff, which is really funny because they had to make the nipples come out first. It's like, that was really important to make the nipple parts down to flick off first. I don't know why they did like that. They did it for the face or the belly or the back or something like that first. But no, they had to focus on the nipples first to like prove that she's a woman. Which would be another point I'll pick up later on too. So anyway, she has to pick out this government official from another business or something or other, and she does on the cloak and stuff, the invisibility cloak of invisibility, and she does take out the guy from a window pane and stuff. She crashes the window in a very iconic scene in which she strips off all her clothes until it's her naked body, or I should say naked body, because it's not really a body per se, or it is a body, but it's not like that. And it's not anatomic correct and stuff. You can't reproduce with it, and it's all artificial anyway. So, she takes off all her clothes and does that. That's it. She makes herself invisible. So the thermal and camo, that's what they call it, the thermal and camo cloaking device. And it becomes like this to vehicles as well, so with the spray tank. So she ends up doing that, and she made the guy's head explode like a big melon. And it's just very funny for some reason. And see all the spinal cord and everything go boom. You would think that for a higher level official like that, they would have like a more durable armor around him and his person and stuff. But no, you don't. So anyway, I didn't remember in this movie there being a geisha robot attacked him, like in the live action version, but I didn't see it in this one for some reason. Yeah, and that was like a big major part. Maybe it wasn't one of the other movies, but I do remember the part where they had the guy splitting up his fingers into multiple other digits to make typing go faster. I could use that, but whenever I type something out, can only do one or maybe two fingers at a time. So anyway, that was real cool. Real cool. And I just remember that when I reviewed the movie for the first time years ago before it was raised by YouTube and by my own clumsiness. I forgot that part. So their past self. But anyway, this movie also features the introduction of jacking into a computer system to be able to control your mind, which is a real cool idea, a real cool feature. I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk were to do that eventually too, where they put implants in your brain and then the brain function can make objects move around or control things with your mind and all that. Which sounds like a really good idea. In theory. In practice, I think they'd probably yell a message. And she does this while another guy is in the car with her, driving around and stuff. And then she takes over and drives a little more aggressively, which is fine and dandy. And they use this with 4 different plugs on the person's neck, and she didn't put them in there. Now, in Matrix, when they do this, there's a level of care when it comes to doing that, because the person can actually get brain damage or spinal cord damage. It's done too quickly and stuff. But in this one, she just yanked them out of her ports, like with the same delicacy as somebody were doing that for like TV hookup. Not very. It's very quick and very annoyingly so. I'm like, once it causes damage, you keep ripping it out like that. So anyway, they do that, and then it also presents a little bit of an issue here with this too, and that when they show that the bio augmentations are always a good thing, but then they also go into the more bad side of it, in that when basically hooked up to a network for bio enhancements and that kind of thing. But the funny thing is that people with malintentions can also hack into the mind and control the body without the permission. Within the Matrix with her name Agent Smith jacking into a guy's human body and stuff and controlling it. And then when they do this, they can number one, they can do damage to the person, and they can do all kinds of other things too. And number two, when they get out of the body, when the hack is complete, and when they exit the body, the person that were to be affected by it has no memory of it whatsoever, of being jacked in or having the body controlled, or their action about what they're doing beforehand while they're being controlled. So that's not super scary. Or in some of the cases, they tend to have the person be a complete mental vegetable, like not being able to being like a vegetative state. And they show this one of the secretaries is affected by a hacker known as the Puppet Master, and the Puppet Master leaves her brain like as much, pretty much, and they even have to remove the brain from the head to operate on it to see the diagnosis to get with it. Which is actually really funny because I keep thinking of the skit from Young Frankenstein of Walton when Igor says, he sings the song, I ain't got nobody. That's it. It's so funny. I mean, it's a serious thing here, but his friends all. I mean, why did you have to remove the brain visibly from a woman's body? I mean, that's creepy as shit right there. And I think that there's a movie that references to something like that, where they operate on someone that's like that. I don't know. Okay, Sarah. So anyway, they have it where the girl has to go after these men that are in connection with the puppet master, and the puppet master later on was caught against some inches systems. Now it's very interesting with him, but first we got to do the whole thing with the henchmen. And Kusanagi ends up becoming invisible again to go after this guy. And it reminded me of the fight versus Perseus in the God of War 2, in which he's invisible and Kratos is visible. And but Kusanagi kicks his ass because she is invisible and like I can't see her. And it's real awesome. It's really good. The guy can't shoot her because he can't see her. And she gets his body going or in different directions and stuff. And it's on me and twisted back out. It's so cool. So visceral. But it's really quite fun to see that. To see Kusanagi be his ass. And then it's very funny that the major is a woman, of course, and Bato is a man. So whenever there's like a part in the movie where she strips down, where it's naked and visible and stuff to the guy Bato, he's always very modest with her, and always has her cover up her leg bits, which goes to show his professionality. It's a different way, but you know what I'm saying. It represents his respect for her as a person, and not for like the puppet master. Now I like the puppet master idea here because number one, they show him talking to other people like without moving his mouth, like Kusanagi does in some scenes, and that was real cool when he fought the guy too, because it was like playing that world's best game of Marco Polo. I could just hear it right now, fucking with the guy and saying Marco, and then the guy would say Polo, and he would punch him in the face from the other side. So anyway, they had to go out to the puppet master now, and the puppet master is a woman in the by body, and then but but he speaks in a masculine voice, and I feel like this is more of a transgender thing, that they different identities and what they're born into and that kind of stuff. So this could actually be a forerunner of the character of Switch in the Matrix movie, being that she's a woman, and the original idea was that she goes back and forth between a man and a woman, between real life and the digital life of the Matrix. But in this one, the puppet master is just a sentient program, and that he desires the sensation of being human, although he can't reproduce like a human being. Thinking this, so he allows himself to be captured, allows him to talk to Kusanagi and stuff like that, and it's kind of cool because when they capture him and he's being interrogated by the supervisor, and then Kusanagi and Bato and stuff, he's over there like a soap body being damaged and whatnot. And when he re-enemies him, you can see that there's a little bit of damage in his being hit by a heavy vehicle and stuff. So it's like it's almost like a seizure type of thing. Like there is some neurological damage there, so it's very cool. But the thing is that he had no legs. He just a bird torso and the arms, which is really cool and really creepy at the same time. So as he's talking to these people, he's also infecting their systems, and therefore he can escape again. So then Kusanagi and Bato have to go get him, and they have to go get him, and he's being protected by a big spider tank, as well as like a guy with a rocket launcher and thing. So she goes into the hidden mode, the stealth mode, and try to take him out of the tank. Now I always thought that the guy, the puppet master, was inside the tank itself, but no, it was just being controlled by him or the guy, the other human being. So anyway, they have a little battle with him with the spider tank using a heavy machine gun fire on Kusanagi, who's behind a column, and then it's later revealed that the thing has like rocket launchers on it. So why couldn't the tank just shoot her with a missile or something? So that was pretty cool, and I like the fact that when the tank got on this thing ended up shooting up a evolution tree up to Homo sapiens. I feel like that's a stab at evolution. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. So then Kusanagi ends up going into the invisible mode again on a lots of advisor and to make the whole body invisible. No bill this time. So then she ends up going onto the tank, on the top of the tank, and it's protecting a car with the body of the puppet master in it. So anyway, it's really quite nice that it's like that when she tried to revolt the tank top, the hatch like on the window, and she's trying to revolt, you see every muscle in your body tensing up, and it's quite nice because you see all the toned muscles and stuff, engorging themselves and getting bigger and then eventually ripping out. It's kind of like what you see at the gym and people working out to the maximum and stuff. So it's really cool. She doesn't succeed in ripping off the tank of the hatchet tank, but she does succeed in ripping off her arms, and I think her leg too, because it did so much strain on her artificial body. Her will to do something is more than her body can take. So the thing eventually shakes her off, and then he grabs her head with a claw, and the head about to be crushed. It's the point where it crushes the visor on her face, on her pretty eyes, and then Bato comes in and shoots the tank with a very heavy cannon from his own personal collection, mind you. And then they zip up the tank, and you see it one like a kind of bloody as it's like of her body, her motionless body. And then like the last few minutes, you see that she wants to mind meld with this guy, kind of like getting the movie Face Off. And he said, be careful for all that. It might be bad for you. He said, I can control myself and all that stuff. Says he got into the guy's mind. And then they had a very creepy and very philosophical discussion with each other. And it's very kind of creepy because both of them are lying on the ground next to each other. And then they look at each other without moving their mouths. And she said, but if I murder you, how will I know I'm still me? And he said, I don't know. I never done this before. You're my special one. You wanted to meld with me for a long time now, so ever since you found out about me, I want to murder you too because you're powerful, you're special and stuff. So she allowed him to be taken in. But the funny is that outside this complex, there's a helicopter there from a government agency that was sent by, I don't know, division, something or other. And that mission is to destroy this before the merger can be completed. So right as the merger is complete, they destroy Kusanagi's body and be covered up by Bato because he doesn't want to embarrass her or anything. So the merger is completed. She has the fusion power of, say, Piccolo and Nail, becoming better officer, being able to hack into anything or whatever, and that's that. And I like the whole thing about merging with somebody in this world because they do like a weird weird scope in which they come close to camera. It's kind of like warp speed from the Star Trek universe. And in this, when they do it, they do this, and they do it with the crash, and they do it with the swing up portion in the beginning with like a weird, almost Buddhist chant, like I can't do this, but they have it like that, and it's funny because whenever they do that, it means like spirituality or something like that. It's kind of spiritual. So again, Bato like, no, my best friend and partner got blown up, and then the helicopters go away. We made some unconscious boys. She's dead. So with the rogue program, the rogue virus program is gone now. And she then ends up we didn't see waking up in his apartment, in Bato's apartment, where nobody else been to before. And She's in the body of a little girl cyborg. This is a good question that I pose to people like this show. What is it that when we hear in other media they show Major Kusanagi in adult bodies, and when she loses limbs off of one body, she goes into another adult body. No questions asked. But in this one, she has to grow into it. And she has to grow into her adult form. Which is, like I said, really weird. But it may be that because the other bodies were destroyed in the line of work, that she's able to get a replacement adult body. It's more like a amateur type thing. But it's really kind of nice that they showed that that Bottles wouldn't do this for her, first of all. And second of all, she successfully merged with the program. And it's kind of nice that she turned on it by hearing voices of the guy when he merged with him, like everywhere, this guy. I want like Cortana to the chief, which this could also be seen as influence to that too. A master hacker being put into the body of a human so that the human can do the work without being interfered with the hacker. Now, this movie is great. It's awesome. It's great. It's wonderful. It's at the bar for so many other movie franchises and concepts, and it's very philosophical about the mind, the essence of the consciousness, about the idea about augmenting our squishy human and weak bodies into more of a technological marvels. And it also presents the idea about what would happen if those biological systems are augmented and then hacked by other people. What would that do to the host body? Would it lead them into a vegetative state? Would that mean that the person would be charged with crimes that might have been committed if they were hacked? Meaning that they have no memories of whatever they did while they were being hacked and controlled. I don't think that should count. I think that if someone were to control me, and I would have murdered somebody, I wouldn't be in control of my own actions, so I wouldn't be able to be charged for that. But anyway, they have the movie on YouTube for the original movie as well, 2.0. And 2.0 is just a very lazy, I think, 3D modeling of the whole movie. Which just when you think of 2.0, you think of a sequel or something, but no, it's just the same thing as the beat went in 3D graphics, which is awesome. And the whole movie is so bloody gory, and had that wonderful musical score to that music score, and it's got the same as those themes, those same philosophical themes to it, but it's not sequel material, not a 2.0 version, I think. And then it's also the problem that there's another movie called Ghost in the Shell, Innocence, which is a whole separate movie altogether. But yet, when you put onto, when you click on it on YouTube, it comes up with the same 2.0 movie again. So anyway, they gave this movie the Disney treatment, and that first it was this movie, which is a traditional animated movie, maybe a little bit computer technology there. You know, you have some of the shines and stuff in there. And then they did a 3D rendering of the movie, and then they did that live action version of it. So there's nothing else for them to do with this movie. Unless they can beam it out into our brain directly. So it was really cool. Now that I think of it, see major when cultural personalities, organic, looking outside, and then the technological stuff inside that they have in the cover here. And that's when they had the cyber brain there. That's when they had the cyber type, when she was just oozing with the strength and power and stuff. And when she whipped out her arms, and it was cool to see everything flex and just did reach the maximum power capacity as she had, and it ripped off her own body. But yeah, I thank you for watching my video on the 95 version of Koofman itself. It's a legendary movie based on a legendary manga and a legendary TV show. I have the manga here. I'm gonna read it if it's like two. This was a good first step in a great movie franchise for adults and like teenagers for anime. And it did this for my birthday month in June 2025 because it's that cool. And as such, I want to give my very popular badass hybrid piece for the seal approval, because many people wouldn't be introduced to Kusanagi unless they saw the movie or the anime on Tsunami, which was a good one for me. And by the way, I want to point out that I got this movie at that flea market because I like the anime. So I bought this at the flea market for like $2 or $3, and it was very money well spent. Now I got many of them online and stuff, and I bought the live action version too. And it got it's by Manga Video and by Polygram Video and Palm Pictures. Very good job, guys. And if you like what you hear and want to see more of my videos, you can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for any future input on my future stuff by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. You can also follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at Pete Nelson Pro. Also, my email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So I salute all you anime fans, all you cyber fans out there, all you who like anime, adult anime, more or less, and philosophy and scientific sci-fi stuff. Peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in Internet. Sayonara, aloha, Abiyasa, ciao ciao.